I spent that whole 6 months probably the most scared and the most stressed I've ever been in my entire life, having no idea if I'm going to spend the next 10 years of my life in prison for something that I didn't do. I remember my attorneys telling me, most people don't win against the government, and we know that you did nothing wrong, but if they offer you a plea, you should consider taking it.
Nope.
And they did, and I said no. I said no, I didn't do anything wrong.
What happened to James is not an isolated incident. Typically, people just don't hear about them for any number of reasons. In a situation like James's, where a prosecutor brings several serious felony charges against someone, they'll typically take a plea deal to avoid going to trial and potentially spending decades in prison. And once they do that, their ability to go after the officers or hold them accountable for violating the Constitution basically evaporates.
When the jury came back, they unanimously acquitted me of all charges. I cried. My family ran towards me. And I remember as I was walking out of the courtroom, one of the jurors ran up to me and she gave me a hug and she said, "I'm so thankful." She said, "I knew the whole time that you did not belong there and these men did terrible things to you."
This case illustrates the lack of accountability that takes place when a police officer or an FBI agent violates someone's constitutional rights. One of the main ways that the government avoids accountability for violating the Constitution is through a doctrine that's called qualified immunity. And it says that a government actor is allowed to violate your constitutional rights. You can't do anything about it unless a court has already decided that the actor's specific actions are in fact a constitutional violation.
After the assault, I dropped out of Grand Valley State University, which I was going to at the time. Parts about everything that I've endured is not just the incident as it happened when it happened, but all the repercussions since then. Missed job opportunities, but I cannot work federal jobs.
For the United States Supreme Court to make things right in James's case and more broadly in constitutional litigation, it needs to revisit this concept of qualified immunity and take a more engaged role in evaluating how difficult it is for plaintiffs to bring lawsuits against government officials who violate the Constitution.
James's case is part of IJ's new project on immunity and accountability. Immunity doctrines turn fundamental concepts of American jurisprudence on their head. If citizens must follow the law, the government must also. And that includes following the Constitution. And following the Constitution means officials being held accountable for violating it.